Okay, while I'm on making a video, I decided to show myself. I wanted to show you the calculator, okay? If you look at the ICR, if you look at the introductory week, you're going to have a calculator on your proctored test, which there'll be two. You're not going to be able to use a cell phone. So you need to go ahead and find yourself a calculator. This is my preference. Can you see that? It's a TI-30X2. Okay, this is my preference. It's about $10 at Walmart. I'm going to use it to do these next few problems. It comes in pink. It comes in like a bright blue color. There's another version of this that's gray. The gray one is not my favorite, but whatever works for you. Sometimes it's $1 cheaper. But you need to get a calculator. I'm warning you now. When we have our first test, it will be proctored, and you will not be able to use a cell phone. So, wanted to show you my calculator while we're here. All right, let's finish up part 2 of the notes. Example 5. Layla turned in 18 of the 24 assignments in Math 143. What is the ratio of turned in assignments to not turned in? Okay, so again, she turned in 18 of the total 24. What is the ratio of turned in? So I want to know how many did she turn in comparison to how many she did not turn in. Now, this is tricky because people are automatically going to set up 18 to 24, and that's not correct. Read it again. Layla turned in 18 assignments. She did not turn in, let's see, what's 24 minus 18? She did not turn in 6 assignments. Okay, she did not turn in 6. So the ratio is 18 to 6, which can be reduced. It's divisible by 6. So the ratio is 3 to 1. What that means is for every 3 assignments that she did do, there was 1 that she didn't. Okay, example 6. You're going to use this in the recipe lab this week, something similar to this. So this is a good example. Not quite as similar to example 9 as the recipe lab, but this would help you as well. Example 6, a powder drink calls for 3 scoops of powder to 8 ounces of water. So let me go ahead and write that down. 3 scoops of powder to 8 ounces of water. I'm going to call that W. How much powder? Okay, so we're looking for powder. We don't know. How much powder would there be if you had 32? Oh, I see a typo. That's supposed to be ounces, not ox. 32 ounces of water. Again, this is supposed to be OZ. Sorry, not OX. Well, this is a ratio, 3 to 8. And what we're trying to figure out is what ratio would fit with 32. We're going to do like we did on the previous video. We're going to set up a proportion 3 to 8 equals question mark. I'm going to put X over 32. Okay, so use your calculator. I know you've probably got a cell phone in your hand, but you really need to get a calculator. This is a great calculator. It does fractions really, really easily. So you would do 32 times 3. Let's see. Let's get back to where I was. Okay, 3 times 32. That is, what is that? 96. And then you would multiply the other way. 8 times X. That'll be 8X. And you divide both sides by 8. And 96 divided by 8, again, I am using my calculator. You see this? Not using my cell phone. You need to get a calculator ASAP so that you know how to use it. You don't want to get on your first test and it be proctored and you don't know how to convert decimals to fractions or fractions to decimals. That's the main thing we'll use it for. So the answer there is 12 ounces of water. Again, I apologize for the typo. Number 7, if the ratio of difficult math problems to easy, okay, so I'm going to go ahead and write that up. Difficult is first and easy is second. And it says the ratio is 4 to 3. How many easy problems? So we don't know, so I'll put an X for the easy. Are there if there are Ooh, 360 problems in the book. Now, wait a minute. It says there are 360 problems. It didn't say difficult. It just said total problems, okay? These are the total problems. Some are easy and some are difficult. Now, this is a really good example, and it's kind of challenging. So let's rethink this one. Okay, so start over. Read it again. If the ratio of difficult to easy is 4-3, how many easy problems? Okay, so we know we're going to use this column right here. We definitely need to use this easy information. If there are 360 total problems, okay, well, the total problems here would be 360. It didn't tell us, but we can figure out the total number of problems here as well. If there were 4 difficult and 3 easy, what's the total? 7. So now we're going to set up a proportion 3-7, x to 360. We're not even going to use that 4. So 3-7 equals x to 360. Cross multiply. Again, get your calculator out. 3 times 360. You're going to be super sad if you have not bought that calculator before we have this first test. It's going to be a few weeks, and I'll continue to remind you. 7 times x is 7x. Now notice it said round your answer to the nearest whole number. That makes me think I'm going to get a decimal of some sort here. So let's see, 1080 divided by 7. Yes, let me write the answer out. This is a good time to talk about rounding right quick. I'm getting 154.28, and then it would keep going on and on and on. Now, it said round to the nearest whole number, okay? The nearest whole number, so we don't want any fractions. So what we do is we look at this 4, and you go back. Is that 2? I should be looking at the 2, not the 8. Is that 2 going to hold it at 154? Or is it going to bump it up to 155? It's going to hold it. So the answer here is 154 easy problems. Now, if you wanted to find out how many difficult problems there were, you would just subtract 154 from 360. Okay, moving right along. Number 8. The ratio of outdoor swimmers to indoor swimmers at the YMCA is 3-2. Okay, so we've got outdoor, because that came first, and then we've got indoor, and the ratio is 3-2. If the center has 55 swimmers altogether, so they have a total of 55 swimmers. That's a little bit different than what we had here. How many of them are indoor swimmers? So we're definitely looking at this indoor column, and we're going to figure out how many of them are indoor. Well, our total is 55 here. It's really easy. It's like the previous problem. What's your total here? If there were 3 outdoor swimmers and 2 indoor swimmers, then your total is 5 swimmers. We don't really care about this number. We're not going to use that. So again, it's 225 equals x to 55. Cross multiply. 55 times 2 is 110. 5 times x is 5x. Divide by 5. Divide by 5. Use your calculator. And you're going to put 110 divided by 5. We know it goes in there. 5 goes into 100 20 times. 5 goes into 10 too, so 22 times. Honestly, I'm not that good at mental math at all. So the answer would be 22 indoor swimmers. And finally, now this one is super duper duper important. You're going to have a recipe lab this week, and this problem is similar to the recipe lab. A box of instant mashed potatoes calls for 1.5 cups of water to 2 cups of potatoes. So I'm going to write that down. Let's see. 1 1/2. I don't like the way my cursor is. 1 1/2 cups of water to 2 cups of potatoes. And that will serve 8 people. Determine how much water you need to serve 20 people. Okay? So, determine how much water. This is all we really care about right here. Okay? We don't really care about that potato. That was there to trick us. 1 1/2 cups of water will serve 8 people. Okay? So that will make enough mashed potatoes for 8 people. The question is, how much water would it take to serve 20 people? Now, obviously, it's going to be more water because you're serving more people. But we're going to set up a ratio, a proportion. Let's see. 1 1/2 cups of water serves 8 people. How many cups of water would it take to serve 20 people? Now, this is where the calculator that I have is your friend, because my calculator will do fractions, it will do mixed numbers, it will do improper fractions. I can type 1 1/2 into my calculator, and I don't have to convert it, and that's helpful. So I'm going to use my calculator, and I want you to be practicing with yours as well. Again, if you use your cell phone, you're going to be sad. So I cross multiply 1 1/2 times 20. I got lucky here. That's 30. And then I multiply 8 times x. That is 8x. I divide both sides by 8. Divide both sides by 8. Now this is going to be 30 over 8. I can reduce that. So this is divisible by 2. This is also divisible by 2. So my new fraction would be 15 over 4. Now look at this note right here. Decimal answers will not be accepted, okay? I don't know if you actually cook, but if you do, you've never seen a recipe book that told you to put 0.25 cups of flour or 0.5 cups of milk. Measuring cups are measured in fractional amounts, and that's just true in the United States of America. So we need to convert this to a fraction. Right now, well, it is a fraction, but it's an improper fraction. We need to convert it to a mixed number. So let's see, 4, here's how you convert this. 4 goes into 15 3 whole times. That gets me up to 12, and then I have 3 left over. So 3 3/4 cup of water is how much you would need to make mashed potatoes for 20 people. Now again, if I have 15 over 4 in my calculator and I don't know how to convert that, we have some buttons here. You probably can't see this, but there's like A/BC button on my calculator. It will convert it from an improper fraction to a mixed number, from a mixed number to an improper fraction. So I can just use my calculator and it will do that for me. That's why the calculator is so handy. Okay, so get your calculator and good luck.